Government outlines its position on children determining their own gender. Barbados' new Chief Justice sworn in. The Barbados Police Service steps up its recruitment drive. And in sports, Barbados ready for St. Vincent in tomorrow's international rugby tie.
Broadcasting from our studios in the Pine St. Michael, this is CBC NewsNight, starting now.
Good evening, I'm Pearson Bowen. Government does not support any child having the right to determine its gender. The statement tonight from Prime Minister Mia Amar Motley. She was contributing to a debate on a resolution on the report of the Joint Select Committee on the Social Sector and the Environment on the Child Protection Bill. She says her government will allow children to be children.
That is not the role of a child. If you're an adult, you can do whatever you want. But this country and this parliament will support its children and allow children to be children as they must be in order to allow them to be productive adults and citizens. And the protection will not be vacuous. The protection will not just be in terms of legislation, because legislation is one thing. But the ministry, in the reforms that they are bringing, are going to have the programs to reinforce parental education. And all of us agree that this is where it begins and ends.
Ms. Motley also supports a call by Minister of Youth, Sports and Community Development, Charles Griffith, for a national registry for pedophiles.
Those who interfere with children. I understand that people have rights, but that register will take care of people who have been judged not by me or you, but by a court of law, as you know. And that person may have to be protected from themselves, but that is a matter for them. But we are going to protect the children from them.
Deputy Prime Minister Santia Bradshaw has condemned adults who take advantage of minors, as well as those who share pornography that at times goes social. She says society has a right to denounce such activities, as she condemned circulation of a video involving a minor.
Unless we as a society are able to call out these activities, denounce these activities and say that they are wrong, many of those who are in our society will continue to believe that it is okay to look at the young lady as she's developing and she's getting breast and bottom. That it is okay to touch her inappropriately as though she's a big hardback woman, sir. We believe that it is okay as a society not to say when a wrong has been committed to a child. And I want to talk about that, sir, because I believe that this is a deeper issue in our society, where people do not want to bell the cat, where people do not want to tell on somebody, or as the young people say, nobody don't want to snitch, sir.
Minister in the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, Ryan Strawn, has made a case for the protection of children who are non-verbal from child abuse. He says one reported case of child abuse is too many.
I make reference to my son because we talk about child protection. It is important, especially for those who cannot communicate, that the spaces within which they are invited to participate, it must be safe spaces. And therefore, whether it is the teachers, whether it is the sports, the person in the sports association, whether they're the person within the religious community, sir, our children must be protected from any type of abuse, far less sexual abuse, sir.
Barbados has a new Chief Justice. He was issued with his instruments of appointment and sworn in today at State House. Joshua Hinkson reports.
I, Leslie Francis Haynes, do swear that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to Barbados according to law. So help me God.
Having taken the oath of office before President Her Excellency the Most Honorable Dame Sandra Mason, Attorney General Dale Marshall, his wife Denise and family, Leslie Haynes became the 15th Chief Justice of Barbados. Chief Justice Haynes believes his appointment is due to his diligence and dedication to service.
Work was paramount. The compensation was not, but work was paramount. And I think that has stood me well, served me well, from then until today. That we represent, that one should represent one's client, regardless of how well that client can compensate you. And that has been the motto. So that if I am here today, it's because of the motto of work hard and serve the people, serve your clients.
Top priority for the new Chief Justice is the continued improvement of Barbados' judicial system and the delivery of its services to citizens.
The transformation of government, of which the judiciary is part of, is still to be achieved, and that will be my objective, to transform the judiciary into a modern court system, one that we would all be proud of.
Attorney General Dale Marshall lauded the appointment of the new CJ, praising him as a keen legal mind capable of addressing the evolving needs of the court system.
For my part as Attorney General, I look forward to working very much with you. I enjoyed a very cordial relationship with your predecessor, and I anticipate that you and I will have exactly the same kind of relationship. I agree with you that there's still a lot of work to be done in transforming our judiciary. It has served us well, but you know that I have been very critical of a number of issues, particularly the length of time that attends the delivery of decisions. And I expect that you probably had the same concern when you were on the other side of the bench. So now is an opportunity for you to help us to wrestle that to the ground, and I commit to you that all of the resources that you will need in order to be able to achieve that will be made available to you from my office and from the Cabinet Office. Congratulations.
Chief Justice Haynes has served as a senior member of the bar and most recently served as chairman of the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, as well as the NIS Board. Joshua Hinkson, CBC News.
The latest development in the leadership struggle in the opposition Democratic Labour Party is not surprising. That assessment comes from veteran political scientist Dr. George Bell. In an interview with CBC News, Dr. Bell explains the leadership issue will continue until one of the leaders of the two factions resigns. He believes, given the opposition leader's legitimate position as political leader, only one path forward exists.
If there is a problem still in the party in relation to how leadership would proceed in the party, the problem is solvable only on the side of those persons that can move. Mr. Thorne cannot move. And the people that can move are the president, who is in charge of administration, and the general secretary. Somebody has to go, and Mr. Thorne can't go. So in such a situation, it is reasonable, politically reasonable and mature, for the person to recognize what the political reality is. You face that reality.
In a document reportedly sent to party members and circulating online, embattled General Secretary of the DLP, Steve Blackett, says he's considering his position and membership of the party. Dr. Bell believes the current infighting will result in his resignation.
That letter that I saw from Mr. Blackett is Mr. Blackett coming to terms with the reality that I just described. And unless he is now persuaded by somebody or some people to not do what he seems to be moving towards, he would resign on his own political sensibilities, because he is recognizing, he's saying, I expected support from this executive and I'm not getting the support. And if you can't give me the support, I have to go.
Dr. Bell's comments also come amid the reported suspension of Dr. Ronnie Yearwood as president of the party. Acting General Secretary Pedro Shepherd confirmed the decision to the media.
The General Council of the Democratic Labour Party wishes to advise that at a meeting of its membership held at its headquarters on Thursday, 16th May 2024. Members present voted overwhelmingly on a motion to suspend President Dr. Ronnie Yearwood with immediate effect. This decision was taken regarding several complaints made against the President, Dr. Ronnie Yearwood. The matter will be formally referred to the Disciplinary Committee of the party for its deliberation.
Well, just over a week ago, it was announced that the DLP's General Counsel moved to suspend General Secretary Steve Blackett. In another development last night, the Barbados Police Service was called to the George Street headquarters to investigate a reported break-in. The DLP's Steve Blackett, who said he was still the DLP's duly elected General Secretary, told reporters the headquarters was secured before 3 in the afternoon yesterday. But according to him, they were alerted about the break-in approximately 2 hours later. And despite claims there were no meetings being held last night or for the week, one was held with members of the DLP's General Council. In other news now, the police have made a major breakthrough in their investigations into the unnatural death of Sonia Paris. The 58-year-old Paris went missing after leaving her job at Chafette in Wilde, St. Michael. 42-year-old Andre Pedro Small of the corner of Bino Road, Worthing View and Rendezvous Road, Christchurch, has been charged with her murder. Small appeared before the magistrate in the District C Court today and was not required to plead to the indictable charge. He was remanded to Dodds Prison until the 23rd of May, when he is scheduled to appear in the District B Magistrates Court. The Barbados Police Service is looking for hundreds of good men and women to bolster its ranks, and with that in mind, it has been ramping up its community recruitment drives. The latest came off today in Church Village Green in the Bridgetown area, where the service mounted displays with its various units. Officer in charge of the Human Resources Department, Superintendent Winston Holder, shed some light on the total number of vacancies in the force.
We have 274 vacancies in the Barbados Police Service, which we are in the process of filling. As such, we are conducting a series of recruitment drives with the intention of attracting a pool of potential applicants to the organization.
Superintendent Holder notes there has been a positive response to its recruitment drive series executed throughout the week.
I think the response was really great. As I said, we started at Warrens, Massey Car Park Warrens, and the response there was very good. And then after we move on to Emerald City Supermarket in St. Philip, the response there also was overwhelming. We had a number of persons expressing interest to become members of the Barbados Police Service. Some of them took forms, and some of them filled out applications on site.
We'll take a break here, but coming up, the Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation receives an award from an international federation. The CBC has been recognized for its significant contribution to sports development in Barbados with an award from the International Fitness and Bodybuilding Federation. Rashid Best reports.
The presentation was made by Ivor Worrell, the Public Relations Officer of the Barbados Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation, and Roger Boyce, the first Vice President of the Barbados Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation and organizer of the Roger Boyce IFBB World Cup. Ivor Worrell elaborated on why CBC was awarded.
CBC has made a significant contribution to the exposure, which has contributed to the development of the discipline. Other persons in the news media fraternity would have also made their contributions, but CBC has the edge in that people will read what they say, but people get to see what CBC covers, and that helps us significantly. For as long as I've known myself and I've been involved in bodybuilding, which goes back now almost 45 years, so we thought it fit that we should inform the International Federation of Bodybuilding. And the president, Mr. Rafael Santana, agreed with us that CBC should be acknowledged. I suspect in the future there will be more to come.
Accepting the medal on behalf of CBC were the Acting Chief Executive Officer Sherwood McCaskey and Head of the Sports Department, Mark Seal. In expressing his gratitude and contextualizing the award, The acting CEO reiterated that CBC's focus must always be that of community involvement and nation building.
CBC is celebrating its 60th anniversary this year. And at 60, you pause and ask yourself a poignant question. Has CBC been true to its mission, to its mandate? I think this presentation here this morning answers that question. The success of CBC is inextricably linked to the success of our people. And while we will hold this award aloft for all to see, I think the message in this is timely, a very timely reminder to all of us, especially those who make the strategic decisions here at CBC. That message, of course, should be our affirmation of CBC's commitment to showcasing the diverse talents and achievements of our people.
Rashid Best, CBC News.
Government is stepping up efforts to ensure all Barbadians participate in the season of emancipation. It will be establishing an emancipation village at Haggart Hall, St. Michael, beginning in the grassy area just a stone's throw away from the Buster statue. The announcement was made by Minister in the Prime Minister's Office with responsibility for culture, Dr. Chantal Munro-Knight, during a press conference at Sky Mall. The village, which will be launched on the 25th of May and runs until the 17th of August, will be free to the public.
Is where, again, every single Barbadian can come out and see themselves involved in some activity. Again, as we all talked about, whether there's the entertainment, whether there's the sports, whether there's the games, whether there's the storytelling. And one of the activities, as I understand it, already will be a space for some school children to be able to come out at some time over those 3 days of the village, again, to be immersed in the activity. I think everybody always knows that I always talked about the fact that we need to ensure that we pass on all of those stories and we encourage young people to be involved in this season.
Well, the village is the brainchild of Special Envoy in the Prime Minister's Office on Reparations and Economic Enfranchisement, Trevor Prescott. He believes it will give artists an opportunity to experiment with different fusions of Caribbean music.
We're going to have specific nights of different genre, but I will expect that we would be able to produce something that is uniquely ours. We've had a rhythm that we developed a few years ago. The Draytons used to sing a lot of songs to that. El Verno de Conga. And to some extent, the enthusiasm surrounding that rhythm has diminished somewhat. I'm of the strong view that we can resuscitate that beat and make it even more creative than it was initially.
A symposium to celebrate nearly 50 years of diplomatic relations between China and Barbados was held yesterday at the Chinese Embassy in Christchurch. Wendy Burke attended and tells us the relations go way beyond loan financing.
Over the 47 years, Barbados and China have cooperated across many areas, including financial, tourism, agricultural, and educational. China says it takes pride in having Barbados as a friend, and Ambassador Yang Jishuang says they respect the island for advancing friendly relations to a new level. The National Stadium loan was signed a few days ago, and another project, the China Aid Center for Food Security and Entrepreneurship project, should be completed soon. Ambassador Xi Shuang is happy Barbados adheres to the One China policy.
The Chinese side highly appreciates the steadfast stance of the Barbadian government and people in upholding the One China principle, supporting China's reunification efforts, and maintaining peace and stability in the Taiwan Strait. China is willing to work with Barbados to continuously promote the implementation of the important consensus reached by the leaders of our two countries.
Barbados' second resident ambassador to China, Dr. Charleston Brathwaite, has chronicled his stay there from 2014 to 2017. He talks about new areas of training which have been developed.
And that is the relationship that has been established between the University of West Indies and the Suzhou Institute of Technology to train software engineers in China, an area of work that is new to our country but has tremendous benefits going forward in terms of creating a new cadre of professionals in the area of software engineering.
President of the Association for Barbados-China Friendship, Dr. Dilar Worrell, says they're looking to do tours to the Asian country, while the Confucius Institute at the UWI has been preparing several exchange students to live there.
Daily, hourly, weekly, monthly, nightly, because China operates at a different time zone than Barbados. We are in cooperation and consultation, working through the different details of that relationship in the area of responsibility of our institution, the Confucius Institute. Our job, our mission there is the teaching of Chinese language and culture. So at its very core, our work is in promoting that human resources contact between Barbados and China.
The Chinese embassy intends to keep all cultural relations going, as well with the Fish and Dragon Festival now into year 10. Wendy Burke, CBC News.
Sports Night is brought to you by Power Inn. Pause is power. And by Dasani. Live first, Dasani after.
Time for Friday Night Sports, and we're joined by Anne-Marie Burke. Anne-Marie, good evening.
Good evening to you, Pearson. Now, this weekend will be action-packed here in Barbados, and we start with the fact that the Barbados men's rugby team will face the neighbouring St. Vincent and the Grenadines tomorrow in an International Rugby Sevens test match at the Garrison Savannah. Set for a 7 p.m. kickoff time, it will be preceded by a Bajan Pride Women's Sevens exhibition match at 5:15 p.m. CBC Sports visited the Savannah last evening as the local boys went through their final paces. It's the first time since COVID that Barbados is set to host an international rugby test match as part of the Rugby Americas North Regional Tournament, and preparation has been in high gear. When the CBC team visited the Garrison Savannah for their final practice session, one of the first things that struck us is some major improvements in the competition area.
We've been working on renovations on the pitch for quite some time, and yes, Lord, thank you. We have completed the irrigation system. That's up and running. And I got a pleasant surprise today. The president of the union told me the lights are working. Installed, approved, all the paperwork is done, so we can now play matches at night. That is fantastic. We've been working on this for a long time.
That was Public Relations Officer of the local rugby union, Kathy Daniel, who added that from the competitive side of things, the Barbados team is a good mix of youth and experience.
We have some extremely talented players on this squad, a couple of speedsters, and some young, enthusiastic players that I think will fit in beautifully. I love what I'm seeing because it's speaking to continuity. You've got the older folks out there doing their thing, great, but they're not going to be there forever. So it's good to see some youngsters coming up through the ranks to be able to fill in.
However, the St. Vincent and Grenadines team is expected to be very competitive.
They are a good team. They have a couple of very powerful players on the squad. I think it's going to be a good match. I can't see it being a walkover either way. I think it's going to be extremely competitive, extremely entertaining, and I would invite everyone to come on down and support the local boys.
Following tomorrow's match, Barbados team will next focus on an away match in St. Lucia within the coming weeks. The Queen of the Green Women's Singles 8-ball pool tournament is set for this weekend at the Wildy Gym. More than 20 competitors from 7 countries will take part in the 3-day event. Public Relations Officer of Q Sports Barbados Federation, Ryan Morris, says he's looking forward to an exciting showdown.
I would say this is the 5th year running for Queen of the Green. Yes, you know, COVID would have cut out a couple of those years, but we're now back and doing it bigger than before. We have 32 players being represented over 7 countries in a 3-day battle from, as Mr. Hines would have said, from the 18th up until the 20th. The discipline being 8-ball. And it is a double elimination tournament, which means that you have 2 chances to play to get to the final. So if you lose one of your matches, then you go into what we call the one-loss round, and then the tournament continues.
Meantime, Barbadian Rebecca Carter, a finalist in last year's tournament, is optimistic about her chances this time around.
Pool play is only there. I don't think that any player skill sets are there level that they're at will play any aspect at this point in time, because different playing fields bring out different strengths in everyone. But preparation, if you don't prepare to succeed, you definitely will fail. So I've put in the work to be here at this level, and I want to just represent Barbados as best as I can. Hopefully this time around, hopefully, I can be the one wearing the crown.
The National United Society of the Blind will field a Barbados team for this weekend's goalball competition in Trinidad and Tobago. The action gets going tomorrow with the host, Barbados, and the USA bidding to win the tournament. Chairperson of the Sports Committee for National United Society of the Blind, Pedro Belgrave, explains aspects of the sport which was introduced in Barbados from 2011.
On the side of a volleyball court, we use a ball as big as a basketball. We have to try to score goals on each team, on the team. There are 3 persons on each team, which are set out within a triangular basis. And there's a center, a left, and a right back. And you have to try to roll the ball over your line to score on any goal bars. The goal bars are 30 feet, which is equivalent to the side of the back line of the volleyball court, and it is about 4 feet tall.
Belgrave says they have prepared well for the challenge ahead.
Thanks to the Seventh-day Adventist Church, we were able to use their facility at Oldbury to do our practice sessions. And the preparations have been going well. We had our last practice session last Sunday. And our expectations at this tournament, we are hoping, we're looking forward of bringing back the gold.
The Business Report is brought to you with the kind compliments of the National Insurance and Social Security Service. More than a contribution, it's your lifeline.
In business tonight, Barbados is expected to benefit significantly from hosting the Celtic Music Festival, which is now underway. That's according to Festival Director Gina Leslie. She told a news conference at the offices of Mount Gay Distilleries it is a fusion of cultures and experiences and continues to be an event on the to-do list for many.
We try, within the Barbados Celtic Festival, we try to boost economical growth within Barbados in what is considered a slower shoulder season on the island. Last year's festival, from what we managed to, we think it generated an estimated $700,000 for Barbados, for the local economy and small businesses. Projections for 2025 are good for the revenue.
Ms. Leslie says the dates for next year are already in place, and she's provided some details on this year's event.
Our festival is about being inclusive, fusing our cultures together, but most of all, having a really good time. Barbados, as you all know, is such a wonderful place, and it is a fantastic location to bring people to. And what better way than to come and enjoy music, food, culture, and the sunshine. Many people here attend the festival in past years, and they come back again. This year we've got people from Scotland, England, Ireland, Wales, Canada, US, Germany. There's a whole host of them, around 150 coming in on island this year.
Commercial Director at Mount Gay Distilleries, Anise Jordan, says the festival is an opportunity to introduce new music to Barbados.
I am always looking forward to the Celtic Festival.
has introduced Barbados to a different cultural experience filled with great quality musicianship, dance and laughters, and a very unique occasion of togetherness. So to me and to all of us, this is more than an event. It's a cultural product that unites and introduces new visitors to Barbados. And for that, Jenna, we thank you very much.
The focus is on safety with the new generation of Proton vehicles. Now built on Volvo drivetrains, they were reintroduced to the Barbados automotive market during an open day today at dealers Answer Motors Limited. Sales executive Crispin Smith tells the Business Report nothing has been left out in the new vehicles.
Safety is at the forefront of the vehicles. Everything that's built into the vehicles is thinking of safety. We have the lane keep assist, autonomous emergency braking, front and rear collision warning, everything you will want in a vehicle to help you with safety. Now, one of the key things that I like about this vehicle is that it has a voice assistant that assists you with safety while driving. It can open and close windows, adjust AC, change radio station, and this is also while you're driving that you keep your hands on the steering so you don't have to fidget with all the gadgets in the vehicle.
Let's get back to Anne-Marie for more sports. Anne-Marie?
Well, I promised you news of Brian Talma as the Barbadian has finally received his award for excellence in windsurfing and beach sports. Talma, the island's most popular windsurfer and kite surfer, was inducted into the World Windsurfing Hall of Fame last year, but recently collected the award during a ceremony at the Divvy Winds event in France last week. During an interview with CBC Sports, Talma says he feels honored to be acknowledged for his achievements.
For me, it's after working so hard, I've been coming down by CBC all the time because I actually promote in Barbados, not only internationally. So I've gone all over the world doing this thing, and everybody, you know, when I first was doing it, everybody thought it was kind of crazy, and for them to really recognize me is beyond. It's like when you look at whatever sport anybody is their sport, and you have idols, and all of a sudden you are part of a very special group. But what it also does is for Barbados is very special because now Barbados can claim that they are a part of the legacy of windsurfing. And that's why I say for Barbados, we can capitalize on this huge momentum I have.
An Invitational 11 defeated the Togetherness 11 in the recent Celebrity Night cricket match at Lair's. Batting first, Togetherness knocked up 182 for 4 off their 20 overs. CBC's Almar Goodrich Boyce reports on that innings.
Togetherness 11 batting first. Mark Springer to Shaquille Richards. That's clean ball, 4 for 1. Ronaldo Holder now to Raymond Kelman. This one is in the area towards cover, but it races away to the boundary for 4. After losing the early wicket, Togetherness were looking to steady the ship. Springer to Kelman, dispatch, 1 bounce and over the ropes. Kelman continued his onslaught. This one smashed out the park a maximum. Rick Jordan now to Kelman, who ensured the score was moving along nicely. Slapped down behind square. The fielder will run around, but that's in vain. 4 more. New bowler now, Cody Phillips to Ronaldo Kelman. Outside the off stump. Punch through backward point. A gorgeous shot. 64 for 1. It's back-to-back boundaries now for Kelman here. Delicate touch. Guided down to third man. Soft hands. But Ronaldo Kelman's innings came to an end with this delivery. Going for the big shot. And the catch is taken by Stephen Payne. He's gone for 32. It's 77 for 2. While he was losing batting partners, Raymond Kelman stayed the course, ripping Rudolph Clark over square leg and into the boundary for 4. Kelman then brought up his half-century in brilliant fashion, too short from the bowler, and he smashed away. Well done to Kelman, and with that, he retired. Tahir Bulbulia was the next wicket to fall. Quick reflexes from the keeper, and he stumped. Unbelievable. The score 134 for 3. The last wicket to go was Maria Monroe, LBW off Springer, as Togetherness ended on 182 for 4. Anmar Goodrich Boyce, CBC Sports.
Well, that's our time tonight. Thank you for spending it with us. I'm Pearson Bowen. For the crew, to all of you, good night. Have a wonderful weekend.